Hello, I am Alan. Imagine a quiet Sunday morning. You're sitting on the rocking chair in front of the porch, hands cupping a steaming hot cup of coffee to ward off the autumn chill. The scene is truly peaceful, but in your heart, a worry stirs when remembering the image of this morning's pillow. The strands of hair left there aren't just hair, right? They carry a sense of melancholy, as if you're gradually losing a part of your radiance and femininity. I understand how heavy that feeling is. My close friend, Mrs. Mary in the suburbs of Chicago, also just confided in me about that silent fear when she brushes her hair in front of the mirror, worrying if she'll look older in front of her grandchildren during the upcoming holiday. But my dear friend, don't give up yet. Your body isn't betraying you at all. The falling hair is actually the body's way of trying to talk to you about deep internal changes, from hormones to how you face everyday worries. Have you ever wondered if seemingly harmless habits like the vitamin bottle you hurriedly bought at Costco or the sweet breakfast are the silent thieves taking away your hair? Sit here, drink this cup of coffee with me, and go to the end of the story, because we won't just find back the hair, but also the hope and confidence you deserve. Do you remember the melancholy feeling when seeing strands of hair on the pillow in the morning that we confided? That anxiety is very everyday, but sometimes the cause isn't in what you see right in front of you, but a silent process happening inside, like how termites erode a sturdy wooden house. I have a friend named Susan, 58 years old, currently living enjoying the warm sun in Florida. Susan often tells me about her afternoon golf sessions with her husband. But lately, she started wearing a baseball cap and covering up more carefully, not because of fear of the sun, but because she noticed her center part getting wider under that harsh light. She confided that her hair doesn't fall out in large patches, but every time she brushes, she feels the strands getting thinner, weaker, and as if they're gradually shrinking. And Susan was right. In medicine, this phenomenon is called miniaturization, or hair follicle shrinking. The main culprit is a thief named dihydrotestosterone, or DHT for short. Although we often think testosterone is a male hormone, women's bodies also have a small amount, and a special enzyme in our bodies will convert it into DHT. When DHT attacks, it makes your hair follicles shrink, shortening the time hair is allowed to grow long and healthy. Imagine the hair follicle like a plant pot. DHT is like someone gradually reducing the soil and water every day, making the plant, your hair strand, stunted, thinning until it's just faint, fine hairs. But what puzzled Susan, and perhaps you too, is why does my husband bald completely on the crown, while I just thin gradually? That's a great question. Although both affected by DHT, the pattern of hair loss in men and women differs due to the distribution of hormone receptors on the scalp. And here's a fact that might surprise you. Have you often heard that hair loss is due to genes from the mother's side? Actually, studies have shown that inheritance comes from both sides, meaning genes from your father also play an equally important role. So next time you go to public supermarket or stand in line at Costco and see women around your age with thinning hair, understand that it's not their fault. It's a silent battle with internal hormones. However, DHT isn't the only enemy. There's another factor, more dangerous, appearing right in the moments you worry for your children or lose sleep over bills, silently commanding hair to stop growing immediately. We'll together expose this saboteur in the next part. If you find these shares helpful and want to continue the journey with me to regain vitality for your hair, please hit the subscribe button right below. I'll see you soon. Do you remember the heart-pounding feeling when receiving a call from the doctor, or the tension tightening in your chest when checking the bank account balance at the end of the month? Those moments remind me of Linda, a friend living in the neighboring neighborhood. At 55, Linda is carrying the world on her shoulders, caring for her sick elderly mother while worrying about college tuition debt for her youngest son. Linda confided in me that she feels exhausted, and more frighteningly, her hair falls out in handfuls every time she washes it. She wonders if she has some illness, but actually that's an SOS signal from the body. When you're stressed for a long time, like sleepless nights, anxious about health insurance or retirement plans, your body produces a hormone called cortisol. Imagine your body like a house with the fire alarm on. When the alarm sounds, you won't worry about watering plants or painting walls, right? You'll focus on putting out the fire. The body is the same. When cortisol rises, it signals the brain that you're in danger. Immediately, the body will shut off non-essential functions for immediate survival to allocate energy for the heart and muscles to cope with the threat. And sadly, your hair is seen by the body as non-essential in that emergency situation. Stress not only makes you mentally tired, it's actually commanding your hair follicles. Stop growing immediately and enter resting state. This is why, a few months after a major event, you see abnormal hair loss. When facing this anxiety, The first reaction of many of us is to rush to Costco supermarket or the pharmacy to find some supplements. But be careful. What? Because sometimes that worry can lead us into another trap. Do you know that there are types of supplements, if used incorrectly, can turn into poison, making hair fall out more? Let's open your medicine cabinet and check if you're making this common mistake. When the clouds of everyday anxiety come, we often seek a quick ray of hope to cling to. And sometimes, that ray of hope lies right on the supermarket shelf. I remember very clearly one weekend afternoon at Costco. Amid the bustling crowd shopping for the holiday, I happened to meet Mrs. Nancy standing hesitating in front of the supplement area. Her shopping cart already had large bottles of hair, skin, and nails vitamins, the colorful gummy type we often see. She smiled and told me with eyes full of expectation, "Alan, if 2 gummy vitamins a day are good, then 4 must help hair grow back twice as fast." Perhaps you've had the same thought as Mrs. Nancy, right? We love our hair and are willing to do anything to preserve it. But do you know that sometimes that enthusiastic care accidentally damages your fragile hair follicles? The truth is, the line between supplement and burden for the body is thinner than we think. Studies have shown that taking too much vitamin A, an essential nutrient, can cause the opposite effect, making hair fall out more instead of growing thicker. Similarly, selenium is a wonderful mineral, but if excess, it can lead to diffuse hair loss. Imagine your body like a small backyard garden. Watering is necessary, but if overwatering, the roots will be waterlogged. Mrs. Nancy accidentally flooded her body with those high vitamin doses, making hair follicles poisoned instead of nourished. This doesn't mean vitamins aren't good, but we need delicate balance. Instead of taking double the dose hoping for overnight miracles, be patient and listen to the body. Are you accidentally overlapping multiple vitamins at once without knowing? The story about Mrs. Nancy's sweet gummy vitamins reminds me of another sweet enemy, something we often invite into meals every day without knowing its silent harm. It's not in the medicine cabinet, but right in the fragrant apple pie or the sweet tea you drink every morning. Let's step into the kitchen to discover this unexpected connection. The aroma of a freshly baked apple pie or the sweetness of a powdered donut on Sunday morning, who among us can truly resist? Me too, that's the flavor of reunion. But try to recall after those sweet joys, or after a weekend BBQ party full of burger buns and soda, do you feel your body heavy and drowsiness coming? That food coma phenomenon isn't harmless as you think. Let me tell you about Patricia, 53 years old, a wonderful woman I know in Ohio. Patricia loves baking for her grandchildren every time they visit, but lately she confided in me worriedly, "Alan, not only is my belly getting bigger, but my hair is falling out too much." She didn't know that these two are closely linked. When we consume too much sugar, the body produces a large amount of insulin to process. High insulin is like a silent saboteur. It reduces a special bus in the blood called SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin. When lacking these buses to transport, testosterone hormone will run wild and easily convert to DHT, the number one enemy shrinking hair follicles we exposed in the previous part. Have you ever wondered why your waistline relates to the thickness of your hair? That's the answer. The sweet cake you eat today might be the reason your hair weakens tomorrow. But don't worry too much, because the good news is we can reverse this right from the kitchen. Patricia started by replacing white flour with whole grains, and she said she feels much lighter. But the story doesn't stop there. Insulin resistance and high sugar not only affect hormones, but it also completely changes the weather on your scalp, turning it into a chaotic, oily environment. What happens when your oil glands lose control? Let's continue to find out. If this information is helpful to you, please comment, "I'm ready for healthier hair, so I know." Or if you want to hear more, please hit like to give me more motivation. The moment you feel tired and sleepy after weekend BBQ parties full of sauce and sweet cakes reminds me of another story about the fragile balance of the body. Do you remember Brenda? A 56-year-old friend of mine living under the characteristic dry sun of Arizona. One Sunday morning, while preparing for church, I saw her standing hesitating in front of the mirror, her hand continuously brushing her shoulder on her favorite black sweater. Her eyes flashed sadness when seeing small white flakes falling, what we often simply call dandruff, but actually it can be a sign of seborrheic dermatitis. Brenda once confided in me that she feels embarrassed, fearing others think she's unhygienic. But my dear friend, let me make this clear. That's not a fault of not washing your head clean. On our scalp, there are tiny friends called sebaceous glands. They work hard to secrete natural oil or sebum, helping moisturize and protect your hair. However, when the androgen hormones we mentioned, like testosterone, act strongly, or when you're going through prolonged periods of stress and fatigue, these glands are stimulated and overwork. Have you ever wondered why these outbreaks of itching and flaking often appear right when you're most worried? For example, when children face difficulties or work overload. That's because stress and fatigue are the top risk factors making this inflammatory condition worse. Instead of a hygiene issue, your scalp is actually crying for help about the overload inside your immune and endocrine system. Brenda once thought that scrubbing hard would solve the problem, but are we accidentally damaging the scalp's natural protective barrier, making things worse? Sometimes the signs on hair and scalp are just the tip of the iceberg, and if you keenly look down at your face in the morning mirror, you might see another clearer signal about the stress level your body is bearing. Mentioning Brenda's scalp troubles immediately reminds me of another winter morning, this time with my friend Diane, 51 years old, living amid the hustle of New York. Diane called me, her voice choked after looking in the bathroom mirror. She saw a round, swollen face, heavy eyelids, different from the radiant image in last year's family holiday card photo. She worriedly asked, "Alan, did I eat too much during the holiday?" But the truth is, Diane didn't gain weight. The bathroom scale still held the old number. My dear friend, look closely in the mirror this morning. Is your face looking rounder, seeming a bit puffy, retaining water even though you still fit in your favorite jeans? That's not fat. That could be a cry for help from your adrenal glands, a phenomenon we often call cortisol face or stressed face. When you worry about work or family, the body produces cortisol as a self-defense response. This guy is very greedy. It holds tightly to salt and water in the body, creating that swollen appearance. But here's the scary thing few notice. While cortisol makes your face puff up, it commands your hair follicles to shrink. Cortisol inhibits protein synthesis and prevents nutrients from nourishing hair, what hair needs most to grow. Have you ever wondered why, when life is most stressful, your waistline and face expand, but your hair withdraws and thins? That's the harsh trade-off of the body for survival. However, understanding this mechanism is the first step for us to regain control. We've exposed the silent thieves from hormones to stress, but how to reverse this situation? Are the hair growth medicine bottles out there really miracles or just empty promises? Continue with me, because right after this, we'll together decode the truth about treatment methods so you don't waste money, but still regain your youthful hair. Seeing the fatigue signs on the face due to stress we just chatted about, the first reaction is often wanting to find a quick solution. Imagine you're standing in the hair care aisle at a local CVS or Walgreens store. The bright fluorescent lights shine on hundreds of boxes, colorful bottles, all promising miracles for thick hair. The feeling is really overwhelming and confusing, right? My friend, Mrs. Elizabeth, 59 years old, also once stood frozen there with the exact mindset. After 2 years hesitating watching her hair thin, she decided to buy an over-the-counter minoxidil course. She was full of hope for a change. But after just 2 weeks, she called me, her voice trembling and full of worry. "Alan, I have to stop. My hair is falling out in handfuls, worse than before using." She was scared and threw it all away. Have you ever gone through that panic? Actually, Elizabeth stopped right before the miracle began. This phenomenon is called temporary shedding, as the drug accelerates the hair cycle. Think about gardening in your backyard in spring. Sometimes you have to clear the old, withered dry leaves for fresh green sprouts to have space to grow. The drug is stimulating hair follicles, accelerating the weak hairs in the resting phase, telogen, to leave, to make way for stronger new hairs growing, pushing it out. Patience is the most precious medicine here. Like planting a garden, you can't sow seeds today and expect to harvest tomorrow. Besides minoxidil, you might have heard of finasteride or low-level laser therapy, LLLT, helping increase hair density. However, be very cautious. Finasteride needs careful consideration for us women because the effectiveness isn't clearly confirmed and there are certain risks. Have you wondered if there's a safer way to nourish hair follicles without worrying about chemical side effects? If you like these shares, comment "great hair." And if the video was even a little helpful, please like this video. Your support lets me know we're on the right path. However, gentle external care alone isn't enough. Imagine you're repainting the house facade, but forgetting the foundation needs reinforcement. To make hair truly shiny and smooth from inside, we need a special natural moisturizer from the daily menu. The irony is, many American women fear this component thinking it causes weight gain, but actually your hair is craving it every day. Can you guess what this misunderstood hero is? We'll step into the kitchen and explore this nutritional secret right after this. Let's temporarily forget about the expensive medicine bottles we just discussed a bit. Let's walk down to the kitchen and open the fridge. Do you know that the strongest, most sustainable dose for your hair actually isn't at the pharmacy counter, but right next to the egg box and fresh spinach bunch? I want to tell you about Carol, a 54-year-old friend of mine. Before, Carol's breakfast was always a colorful but high-sugar cereal bowl, eaten hastily while standing in the kitchen to make it to work on time. She often complained to me about her hair thinning and the feeling of sluggishness, hunger, around 10 a.m. Carol decided to change one small thing. She switched to fried eggs and a few avocado slices for breakfast. The miracle is after a few months, not only her energy changed, but her hair also started having much more vitality. Why is that? My dear friend, your hair strand is actually composed of a protein called keratin. Imagine your body like a busy construction site. If you don't provide enough bricks, which is protein, the body will prioritize using those scarce bricks to protect the heart, lungs, and other important organs first. Your hair, sadly, is the place where the budget is cut first. But how much is enough? This is what many of us women wonder when standing in front of the meat and fish counter at the supermarket. There's a very simple formula. Try to intake about 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight each day. For example, a typical American dinner with grilled salmon, an excellent source of omega-3 fatty acids helping reduce scalp inflammation, accompanied by green salad and walnuts, is a perfect choice. Salmon and nuts aren't just delicious, but also contain natural oils helping lubricate hair follicles from inside, preventing dry, brittle hair and breakage. Have you ever wondered if you're accidentally starving hair follicles even though your stomach is full? In the next part, we'll sit together and summarize all these pieces so you can step out of the house with new confidence and hope. I promise this journey will end with a smile. I am Alan. We've been through a long journey in this video series, right? From the secret worries when seeing fallen hair on the pillow every morning, to exposing the hidden thieves like DHT, or how everyday worries and sweets are silently affecting us. Thank you so much for taking your precious time to sit, have a cup of coffee with me, and listen to these shares. Your presence is truly a great encouragement for me. I want to send you one last message. Be patient with yourself. Recovering hair health isn't overnight. It's like caring for the backyard garden. You can't rush, but the results will be incredibly worthwhile. Your body has miraculous healing ability, as long as you listen and love it the right way, from choosing a nutritious meal instead of fast food, or to giving yourself real relaxation moments amid this bustling American life. Don't let worries about age fade your smile. You're still radiant in your own way. If my stories bring you more faith and knowledge, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell right next to it. That's the simplest way for us to stay in touch and for me to know you're still accompanying me in upcoming health stories. Smile when looking in the mirror today, because you're caring for yourself very well. Goodbye and see you in the next warm conversations.